Hello, everybody. Featuring my plant. Sorry, I'm 1 minute late because technology hates me. Hey, that's just a default standard. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Attunement. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here with me today. Today I have an incredibly special guest that I am so, first of all, geeked to be talking to because she's like a freaking, oh my God, amazing human being. So yes, today we have Sonia Renee Taylor coming on, author, poet extraordinaire of a human being. And she's just gonna give us a little talking to. And I'm so excited for her to share Spirit's message with you guys because I'm a firm believer in energy. Excuse me. I'm a firm believer in energy and I can read energy. And I'm very attuned, if you will, to what people are giving to the world. And Sonia's energy, from the moment that my friend Matt shared her page with me, I was just like, wow, she just gets it. And she's just helping us get it. And I love anyone that's doing that right now. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna check my requests and get this convo going because you deserve it. There she is, right up top. Okay.
Hi, I'm frozen.
Oh no! I'm not kidding. I can hear you so well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try one more time. Hold on.
Okay.
It is not an attunement. It isn't a technical issue. I mean, is it? Like, for all of my patrons that have come back, you guys know what the fuck it is. Excuse me, I didn't mean to curse. I'm sure there's children. And again, the world's pretty heavy. So I think curse words are the least of our worries right now.
Oh.
No. Oh my God, no.
So this happened on a live the other day with my friend Kat for her Screen Time Poetry Slam.
Yeah.
And ultimately what we did was we just had everybody take a field trip over to my page, but I mean, you got a lot of people to field trip. So I don't know.
Field trip. Oh my goodness. Wait, why is this happening? This, honestly, every time that I'm trying to have an important conversation with a dope femme, like this happens. Like there's some
I mean, that's just Facebook don't want us to get woke, you know. I mean, come on.
We see you, Zuckerberg.
We see you, Zuckerberg. Get out of our way. Do you want to restart and start over and then just see if?
All right, I'm gonna try restarting it. Yeah. Do you think it maybe is an internet issue? She disappeared. Can you guys hear her at least though? You already know what it is with the technical issues. Sorry, y'all. This is gonna work out when it works out. I don't understand. Okay, Sonia's gonna restart her phone. So in the meantime, here we are. This says I don't know if any of you have been here before with me. Welcome back if you have been. I appreciate your consistency. Even if this is just the second time, there's a consistency. So I appreciate that. But every time, if you're acquainted with this situation, there's some sort of technical issue. Every single time. Nunca falla. Nunca falla. And this is an important combo. So I'm gonna need you to get your shit together, Instagram. Instagram is not giving people notifications from me, shadow banning my ass. Here we go. It's all part of the work, ladies and gents and folks. All part of the work. Anyways, I'm sending so much love to you guys. Today we're gonna be focusing in on kind of because all of us are in this state right now, I feel, and Sonia also feels, we kind of spoke a little bit beforehand, just that there's a lot going on right now coming at us. You know, there's a lot of overwhelm as far as waking up is overwhelming because, you know, the world, of course, has been the way it has been for quite a minute, but the things that have been done behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff, you know, it's overwhelming to kind of just get a glimpse of all of that at once. So we just kind of want to talk about that and through that and help guide us all, guide our energy towards growth and confidence and courage. Just a new space, you know, because a lot of this is like, I was just talking to my friend Quinta actually. And like I was saying to her, it's like a lot of this is just mental. It's a mental shift that we all have to make, you know? We have to talk about shifting our mindset, you know? I think that we could, I mean, if we all get on board with this, of course, but if, oh, there's a party outside. I don't know if you guys heard that. Anyways, I think if we all kind of get in alignment with that, we're gonna be able to move further, quicker, with less violence and less pain, you know, less suffering in the process of, because we're going where we're going. There's no way around this. You know what I mean? Like, there's no unwaking up, if you will. This is what it is now, and it's been this way, but more of us are coming to it. And I think it's like a magnetic thing. Like all things in marketing and culture, right? If somebody hops on the wave, everybody else hops on the wave. So if we're all on the wave of revolution, guess what? That bitch can't be stopped. Because once we get an understanding of what freedom really means, and once we really research that and study that and see how many layers we got to get through to get to somewhere else here in this world, yeah, I think everyone will be on the train of like, let's make a new place. Let's just start again. Okay, let's start again here, Sonia.
I'm frozen still. I know.
Pero
It's so whack.
I don't understand.
Yeah, this was happening terribly the other day, so I
Oh
don't.
my goodness. This is the second time Instagram does this to me. I'm low-key thinking about relocating.
I mean, I think all of these places are about to see some mass divestment if they don't get their shit together. So
Right? Like, how are you gonna impede a conversation like this? This is crazy. Okay, Sonia, so what do you feel is the solution? Do you want to go over to your page? Do you think that
Well, let's try on my page. Everybody come over. I would love to see all of you over there on Sonia Renee Taylor, and I will invite you.
Yeah, so let me just, we're relocating, everybody. Can we all do a collective relocating to, I'm going to text it in the comments. Sonia, Sonya, Renee Taylor. Hold up. Okay, everybody just go to Sonia's page. Everybody help each other out. Get over there. I want to see this. See, there's 6,000 plus people here right now. I want to see all 6,000 of you. Do you understand me? Te lo tengo que decir en español. Vete para la página de Sonia. Vamos para la página de Sonia, okay? All right. Mwah. Help each other out if you can't understand or don't know where to go, okay? I'm going to go to Sonia's page.
All right, add a guest. Yes, go live. Hi, folks who are joining. Some of you, I assume, are coming over from Lauren's page. And if you are, welcome. I'm super excited. Attunement folks who are making it over to my page. Yeah. Let's see. So we're going to try to see if this works. With bringing Lauren over. I don't see here. Nope, not yet. So, hi. A lot of you just came over, clearly, because I usually don't have 2,000 people on my live. For folks who are a part of my channel, I am having an amazing conversation as a guest on, Lauren, you're going to have to pronounce your last name for me because I've been butchering it in my head. Jauregui is what I think it is. But having an amazing conversation with singer, energy healer, artist phenom, Lauren, and for her show Attunement. And Lauren has joined us over here, and so I'm gonna invite Lauren to jump in on this live with me. I just sent you a request, Lauren. Yay!
Yay! Okay, so it's a problem with my live. Good to know. I'm gonna get Instagram on the phone because this is not the first time, and I'm
tell them to get it together.
Time, so
tell them to get it together, and hopefully, like I said, your folks will find their way over here.
Yeah, they're coming.
I think they're coming.
They're slowly but surely coming in. I'm impressed and I'm proud of you all. Thank you for coming. By the way, my last name is Jauregui or Reggie.
Say it for me one more time so I can get it right.
So the way I pronounce it two
I
different
want it. I want to give it to me with all the accent. Give it to me.
Jauregui.
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 Jauregui. Jauregui.
Jauregui.
Jauregui.
Yeah.
Lauren Jauregui.
Yeah,
I've been practicing.
Yeah. So it's confusing though. I get it because in Spanish, when you have a J-A next to each other, it's a
right
instead of a just sound.
Got it. Jauregui.
Little Spanish lesson 101.
Little Spanish 101. Look at me getting my multilingual on.
Hello.
Hello.
My episode of Attunement via Sonia's Place. Thank you so much for creating the space on your channel to have this. I apologize.
My pleasure.
For the difficulties on mine.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. It is your space for the time that we are together, and I am glad to be sharing with you.
All right, so let's get this party started, huh?
Let's do it.
Where do we even begin with these folks? Where are we going to start?
Where do we even begin? Oh, I think we should begin with where we began in our conversation. Like, yeah, I'm always interested in like how we, like how did we even end up on this live together?
100%. Yeah, so I can start that. So
okay.
Basically, I've been following you, Sonia, for a minute because my friend Matt McGorry. Yeah. I was like, he one day just made a post about just amazing like Black femmes that are doing incredible work, and I followed all of them, and you were one of them. And so I've just been taking in your word for as long as I've been following you, and I just felt like the whole world should hear my whole world should hear what you have to say and what you have to give us, because I feel like I've told you on the phone that Spirit really speaks through you to give messages to the collective and healing, very healing messages from a place of like, I feel like you're my mom, but like not really, you know what I mean? Like it's like when your mom talks to you that there's like a nurturingness to the authority, you know what I mean?
Yay, I appreciate that.
So I wanted to just share that energy with my fans so they can hear you speak.
I so appreciate that. I have been reflecting on my controlling nature. I'm a Scorpio.
I understand. I'm a Scorpio moon. I understand.
Yes, I've been so many Scorpio moons lately in my life as well. And so yeah, there's like an intense. There's the part of me that is like, no, I really do know what is best. Then there's the part of me that's like, and free will, Sonia, and people get to live their lives in the way that they choose to. And so it's been beautiful for me to reground whatever it is that I'm saying is like, my assignment is to speak love in its most purest form, and that whoever is vibrating on that, that's who will show up in my sphere. That's who's supposed to be listening. And if love isn't your vibration and you end up on my page, it's because your ancestors want it to be. So so if you show up that way, like, and so I'm working towards, and I feel like it's an ever evolving process, to be grounded in love, that whatever it is that I do, that it be a manifestation of love, and that when I let it be a manifestation of love, I don't have to hold so tightly to trying to control it. And I feel like that's my work. So obviously we are, two souls vibrating on love, which is why we are together
We
today.
have found one another.
Yes.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I feel like that's kind of exactly what the conversation I want today to be about, is that being grounded in love through this process
Yeah.
of the devolvement, of the undoing, of the unlearning,
Yes.
I think one of the things that has been coming to me the most has been just, I keep getting reminded by spirit and my ancestors that this is meant to be happening, and that they are with me, and that they're with us, and that they're fighting on our side, and that
Yes.
they want to see this to fruition. They want to see the new world that we envision. They put that vision in all of our hearts,
Yes. Yes. There's such a calling. I just got done crying, thanking my ancestors right before I got on with you, for the deep, clear guidance, right? And I think part of it is, I saw somebody on your thread when we were over on your page saying, like, how do you read energy, right? And one of the things that brought to mind for me is that really what that is how do I hear and feel and know love? And however it is that I hear and feel and know love is how my ancestors are trying to guide me, is how I can discern energy. Like, that is the answer every single time. And so the more that we tap into how is it that we feel, and I don't know if you've read the book, The 5 Love Languages, but I think it's a useful tool, because what it does is it gives you a chance to be like, oh yeah, no, I hear it through the words of affirmation, or I understand it through acts of service or time. And then once you have that framework, you can say, how do I give myself more of that? Because when I give myself more of that, what I'm actually doing is giving myself greater access to expanding my reception for love. That's it. And the more that we do that, the more we have the capacity to hear whatever our ancestors are trying to tell us, particularly in this moment where I deeply feel like they are saying, we've been here before. We know what this moment looks like. We've seen it. And we know where we went wrong, and we know where we got it right. And we are trying to pass that down to you so that you all can do the same thing, so that you don't make the same mistakes we made, so that you actually get to freedom rather than to some facsimile of it.
It's a
right?
reform version of it.
Right, some sort of, like
some
photocopy
version of
right. This sideways. I always think of it as like I don't know, I'm gonna date myself. When I was a kid, they made these horrible perfumes that were called designer imposters. And so if you like, if you love Prada, if you like Prada, you'll love Prada. And it'd be some whole sideways.
Oh my God.
It'd be some old sideways version. And I totally think that's exactly where we are. It's like, don't buy the Prada version of freedom. We can have the actual version.
Oh my God, that is a word, an analogy. An analogy of the century. Don't have
I like
freedom when you can have Prada freedom.
Right. Don't have Prada. We can interrogate the capitalism in it later, but the whole point is.
There's a little more layer into that, but
right.
We'll get into that another time. But I agree 1,000%. Like, it's that kind of thing that we're in right now. Is like, I feel like we're in an age where we have tools that our ancestors didn't.
Yes.
Where we have tools of connection like this right now. Like the fact that you and I are able to get on a screen and talk to 5,000 people around the world,
Right.
That is a difference. That is something that we have that they did not have. That gives us a power that they did not have. And a voice individually that could be as impactful as, like, your voice right now listening. You know, you might have like 1 or 2 followers, you might have 10 followers, you might have 100 followers, whatever it is, right? You have what you feel is probably a small amount of people listening to you, right? But this day and age allows for your voice to be amplified within 5 seconds. You could go viral because you said some dope shit. You could go
Yeah.
viral because you really connected with a point and express yourself in a way that everyone else can resonate with. And that can happen from any corner of the earth at this point, you know? So I feel like that in a sense makes us all responsible in a way that we've never been before, you know? And I think that's what we're all feeling right now, is that responsibility, that unprecedented responsibility that we weren't ready for, to be honest. A lot of us weren't ready for it, especially, and I'm speaking exclusively, of course, to white people and white passing people. Like, we weren't ready, probably, a lot of us, for life to smack us in the face and for us to finally understand, and or maybe for some of us open up our eyes to a reality that's been here for Black people and been here for Indigenous people for a very long time, you know? So it's in that uncomfortability, again, I want to go back to the other point that we were making, is that rooting in love and growing out of that and into this new world that we want to create from this awakening. Because right now, I feel like, at least I'm feeling energetically, there's just a lot of like chaos, you know what I mean? A lack of uniformity, a lack of unity on the side of the non-oppressed. On the side of the oppressed versus the oppressed. The oppressors got it. They've been perfecting their game for 400 years. They know exactly what to say, how to say. They've been recycling the same goddamn words, to be honest. They don't even bother rewriting what they're saying.
It's the same thing.
They're just recycling their words. And so they have their ways of like making you feel like you've reached freedom. Oh, we passed another act that
Exactly
towards your freedom. Oh, you know, we put another politician in place that actually maybe didn't agree with you before, but now they do. Now they agree with you. Now they know.
Right.
The truth,
now they're wearing kente cloths.
Right. So right now we ordered some kente cloths from Amazon and everything is healed. Like, I don't know, Democrats. I really don't know. Oh, so it's just one of those things where it's like we have to be mindful of that and intentional with our energy and how and what we're aligning with, and be open to being wrong, because there's a lot of confusion. Rightfully so. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of different things being tossed at us as what's real and where we should donate and how we should streamline. You know what I mean? So,
right.
That in itself is a lot to take in.
Absolutely. But I think part of the work is, this is why it's so important in this particular moment in time. There's this real instinct to rush to action. This like, okay, I've been asleep. Let me wake up and do some shit. And what ends up happening is you wake up and then you do the wrong shit. You do the things that have already been the things that have already been done 1,000 times, the things that the people have been working on intentionally for decades and decades and decades. And so what actually needs to happen is, first, there needs to be a pausing. Like, I just woke up. I woke up and life has been happening around me while I was sleeping. And my first assignment is to take the initiative to learn what was happening while I was sleeping. And to figure out why I was sleeping. Because if you don't figure out why you were sleeping, then you'll just go back to sleep again. This will all get overwhelming and you'll be like, never mind, I'm going back to sleep. And so when the question of like, why was I sleeping, is what was I avoiding? What was I avoiding inside myself that I didn't want to deal with? What was I avoiding in my own history and family traumas and experiences? What am I avoiding in my ancestral history and family and traumas experience? What is it that I don't want to see? And let me fear-facingly look at that. Then let me learn what it was that was missing, what was going on while I was sleeping. And then let me go to those people that were doing the things while I was sleeping and say, tap me in the game. I am here. And let me elevate whatever it is you're doing. How can I be
of service to you and your
How can I be of service to you? Right? But you can do that. You can say the how can I be of service to you without being in people's DMs who already got 5,000 DMs from all the other sleeping folks right, asking how can I be of service to you, and just go to their website, because I bet you they already put it on their website how you could be of service to them. They already told you the time that the meeting has happened. They already told you the book that you should read. It is already in existence. Your assignment is so
I have
much.
to give a shout out to Black femmes right now, because y'all have, first of all, already done the work. Y'all have been pushing for freedom since the very first time your children were taken from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how long y'all have been in this game of freedom. Okay. So first of all, second of all, the way that y'all mobilize and create resources for people and create space for people, regardless of the amount of emotional work that takes, like all of the resources that I've been able to use and to read from, all of it's been compiled by Black femmes. Like all of it has been compiled by Black women who have again already done this work, and they're like, yay, you guys are paying attention, dope, here's my work. Like, here you go. Like, here's all of the shit I've been working on since I was like born and realized this was a problem. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So anyway, shout out to y'all for like the very real work that y'all are doing. And guys, there's an endless amount of Black women who have written incredible shit for us to just get our shit together with.
For centuries. You go back to Sojourner Truth. You can go back for centuries. That stuff has been happening. And the thing that I said this on my page a couple of weeks ago, and I swear by it. And I was like, if you want to know the way to freedom, follow a Black woman. And someone on my page said, you know, and I appreciate their sentiment. They were just like, oh, Black women have to lead everywhere, and now they got to get us to freedom too. I just feel like we're burdening them. And I was like, be clear, my love. Black women aren't leading you. Black women are leading themselves to freedom. Black women and femmes are leading themselves to freedom. It just so happens that you would be foolish to see somebody headed towards freedom and not decide to go too. That's the work. So
and
you don't
feel like you're dumb if you're sleeping, because you are dumb if you're sleeping.
Right. I'm like, so I'm not leading you, I'm leading me, but I know I'm going. So go on ahead and get behind. You know? And I think there's so much that our communities have been offering, like you said, since the beginning of time. It's about how, and it's not just about like how do we move through this moment politically. It's about how do, you know, Bell Hooks All About Love is not about how necessarily about how we move through this moment politically. It's a message for about how we move through this moment internally that also happens to translate into the political. Audre Lorde always understood that the personal was the political.
My bad. Hold on, give me one second. I think my AirPods keep switching in, so I think it's messing the audio up a little bit. Give me a sec.
All good.
My bad.
Oh, you're gonna sing? You're gonna sing? Oh my gosh, that would make me so happy, Lauren.
Hold on, keep talking to him though. I'm just gonna.
Okay. So yeah, I think, you know, what I want folks to know is that what I deeply believe, the whole philosophy of my work, which I realized I didn't tell anybody like what my work is or where I'm from. Y'all just talking to me.
Right.
I run a digital media and education company called The Body Is Not an Apology. And we are a digital media and education platform that explores the intersection of identity, body, and I mean body in both the physical, mental, and spiritual sense of the word body, and social justice. And we do all of that work using a framework we call radical self-love. And radical self-love is about how do I move through the world intact with an understanding and knowing of my inherent divinity. How do I know that I know that I know that I know that I am already enough? Because if I knew that I was already enough, then the systems of oppression that profit off of my belief that I'm not enough would not actually be able to exist anymore. They would be made completely invalid. And so the assignment is for us to tap back into our own experience of radical self-love so that we can divest from those external systems of oppression. And that work,
I could really cry. That's what it is.
That work is transformational. That work is personal, right? And that's why I say all the time, like, we're not going to change you can't build externally what you haven't built internally. You're not going to make a world that is just and equitable and loving when you have an unjust, unequitable, unloving relationship with yourself. It's not possible.
That was my
It's not possible.
That was my biggest lesson, Sonia, in life. That was my biggest lesson in life was when, because I wanted to change the world and fix the world since I was little. I've always had that mission in my heart. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of the growth, right? But as a little
Mm-hmm.
girl in the world, as any young woman in the world, it's different for all of us, of course, in the layers of what we have to experience and deal with. But that insecurity is embedded in us since we're born, that we are second to something, that our emotional availability is more valuable than ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that we have no value other than the way that we physically look. That happened to me a lot, and that got thrown in my face too when I was 16 and entering this world of fame. You know, it was very clear to me that my worth was only based off of my looks and based off of my value in comparison to the people around me. You know what I mean? And so that really fucked with my self-esteem for a really long time. And that got in the way of my mission because I was so concerned about helping others and fixing everything around me that ended up being a scapegoat for never looking at myself and all the ways that I needed to heal and all of the pain that I hadn't looked at and all the pain that I hadn't accepted or reckoned with or even thought about confronting because I knew that I was very privileged. So to have pain for me was like, you don't have shit, bitch. What are you talking about? You know, there's so much going on in the world. But that's another thing is like, of course, all of our experiences are important, but they're nuanced and they're different. And pain is pain, no matter what it is, no matter what level we experience, no matter where it comes from or why it's there. And it affects our ability to love ourselves, and it affects our ability to be in communion with the collective and the oneness that we're surrounded by in this world and the universe. You know, when you're disconnected from yourself, how the hell are you going to feel any sort of connection for anyone else? Of course you can't. And that, I think, is also, when we talk about white supremacy, I think white supremacists are very far distanced from their humanity. They are so far away from their humanity. And that comes from their deep sense of self-hatred that came from somewhere along the way. Whether that was injected into them when they were little or whether, you know, someone told them along the way, like that shit, that ideology doesn't just come out of nowhere. That shit is ingrained with violence. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so we're all experiencing that. And that's what I think this moment that we're all in collectively is this breakdown of this violent structure, this breakdown, this reckoning of, and that's why my whole entire shit is like, I tell my fans all the time, and y'all know this, love yourself, accept yourself, figure out how the hell it is you're going to walk past the mirror and look at that person and be like, I'm inside of you, you're inside of me, and I love you. I love you so much. I love you so much. I respect you to not have to give you to anybody else and have them abuse you, and you think that's okay. You know, no matter what level of abuse it is. Just because someone isn't physically abusing you does not mean you're not experiencing abuse.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Psychological abuse is one of the most dangerous because you stay in a space of emotional and spiritual lack. You feel like you're unworthy. That unworthiness is what drives you to self-destruct in whatever way that ends up manifesting, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It is so important to unapologetically love yourself. And if you don't yet, it's okay, but you can work on it. And
you can absolutely work on it. I wrote a whole book about it. I did. And it's, you know, it's a perfect time because this week is also Blackout Publishing Week. And so it's a great time to buy a Black person's book. Buy a Black person's book. You can buy this Black person's book. It's The Body Is Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love. And you can get it at any independent bookstore. You should preferably find an independent Black bookstore if you can, or certainly an independent bookstore run by people of color. But what you were saying, Lauren, that I think is so important for folks to remember, and the connection between white supremacy and this deep, profound lack of love. My friend said this morning in my conversation, my pickled pineapple. We've officially named our relationship Pickled Pineapple. So my friend Keisha, also known as my pickled pineapple, and I were talking this morning, and they said, you know, like white supremacy, I'm adding to it, but the gist of the conversation was like white supremacist delusion and white guilt come from a deep and profound lack of love And the fact that what Black folks historically have done and do is love despite the level of rejection and violence that is off, and that the rejection and violence is what happens when you can't love yourself, and so you don't know what to do when you receive love. Basically, white supremacist delusion can't understand why we haven't killed them yet. And so the entire energy, right? And the entire, and it's because we are loved. That's why we haven't. It's because we are loved. And so white supremacist delusion will continue to try to provoke you to kill them because they are on their own internal suicide mission because of their own sense of lack of love.
Tell it again.
And so, and I mean, and this is on a systemic level and it's on a personal level. If you do not tap into your own sense of love, you will spend your life trying to kill that which loves you.
Or that which loves.
That which is love, period. Wherever it is, whatever it looks like, you could buy a plant and name it love, the shit'll die. Because it'll just,
your energy's fucked up.
Your energy is going to kill it. And so until you figure out how to reckon with that relationship of love inside yourself, you will be on a mission of annihilation of anything that looks like love. Which is why white people been out here trying to kill Black and indigenous and people of color for all of time, is because we look like love, operate like love, move like love in the face of a community and a history that can't figure out how to love itself.
Oh, wow, I could cry. A sermon. And this is always what I thought, by the way. I've always felt this way. All of my heroes are Black. You know what I mean? Like, all of the people who have done some shit in this world that is respectable and honorable and integritous, and I don't even know if that's a fucking word, but like,
yeah,
that anything that is rooted in love, dead ass, has come from indigenous and Black folks. Like, and when we say Black folks, that's indigenous folks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
It doesn't matter. Like, we say Black, we say African American, we have so many different names to give them, but they are indigenous people of Africa, you know?
Absolutely.
And that is the key to it all, because indigenous way of life is in communion with oneness. It is in communion with source, with harmony, with each other. We indigenous people understand their role in their relationship to the rest of sentience, of energy, you know? And that is the biggest difference in what we're seeing with these white supremacist oppressive regimes, like all of them across the board, because they're everywhere. Like imperialism has been happening since a long time, like for a long time. All right, this has been the blueprint, this whole monarchy, this whole hierarchy of things, this whole like pyramid scheme of like one person at the top gets everything and everybody else, it's trickle down economics. This has been happening since, for most of like functional humanity, especially since the Industrial Revolution, you know?
Absolutely.
And since it was possible to capitalize.
But even before that, I'd say since manifest destiny. Exactly. So let's just, right?
And what is manifest destiny?
Like, it was when Europeans woke up and was like, God said we should just kill everybody and own everything. Exactly. because God hates, I'm about to put this together though. Because God hates us because of original sin. And so the only way that we can actually define, so the source of love hates us, which means that the only way it is that we could redeem ourselves is to amass and control the external world, because our spiritual world, our spiritual doctrine births us into a story of not enoughness. So our entire life is about setting ships a sail so that we can figure out how to externally be enough, because we are internally, permanently, through a totally made up doctrine, disconnected from the love source, disconnected from God as love, through this story of original sin, which means that now we have to set ships a sail and conquer everything, because it's the only way that we can actually figure a way to define ourselves. If white people don't figure out how to reconcile themselves with love and reconcile themselves with source, and go back to that core trauma, to that core wound where somebody told you that God don't love you, If you don't fix that shit, whiteness will continue to do exactly what it's done throughout history until it kills us all.
And themselves included.
Everybody. It'll take everybody out.
It's like a black hole. It's like a black hole.
Exactly.
It's literally a black hole. From the source. It just sucks everything into it and sucks everything out of existence. Like that's literally and that's the thing. That's why it's so important. Again, I'm going to reiterate. First of all, that was a word. Thank you very much. Second of all, I'm going to reiterate the importance of each one of you individually, because we have been convinced and indoctrinated and programmed to believe that we're worthless, that we have no worth, that unless we're making a fuck ton of money, that there's no value to our existence, unless we're profitable to a system, there's no way that we could have any sort of value and intrinsic value, right? That is just how important it is for you to love yourself. That is just how, that's the most revolutionary shit you can do against this system, is to break yourself free from it mentally.
It is transformative.
Yes, the second that you realize that this world that has been created is, first of all, made up of constructs, right? So a bunch of humans made it. A bunch of humans can unmake it in a second. And you know how, and here's some proof for it. How quick did we switch up for coronavirus? How quick did the whole world paradigm shift for an invisible being?
Right. Everybody told you couldn't stop working. And then all of a sudden, everybody had to stop working. Everybody told you there was no way that you could, like we need to fly every day all over the world. And then all of a sudden, there wasn't no planes to get on. Like all of it is made up, and all of it can be unmade.
Switch at the drop of a dime. And the fact of the matter is, I believe the whole world shifted because old white men were in danger because of this virus. I think that's why the whole world shifted to this quote unquote situation where, you have the government giving billion-dollar bailouts to corporations and like having no consideration for the way that their population is going to experience something. And that didn't happen all over the world, but that did happen in America. And so I feel like, again, it's the most revolutionary shit you can do right now is educate yourself and free yourself mentally from the traps and the programming and the bullshit that we've been spoon-fed, like force-fed since we were brought into this planet and brought into this consciousness, this level, this era of consciousness. And that's what this really is. When we talk about, this is just what I believe, like really from my soul. When we talk about the book of Revelations, or we talk about this apocalypse that's supposed to be happening or that's happening right now, I'm a firm believer that it's happening. I'm a firm believer that 2012 was the inception of the end of the world as we knew it. And it is the end of the world as we knew it. And we can either choose to stay in the old paradigm, the lower consciousness, the lower frequencies, and get left behind, get taken out, truly. Get taken out by the universe. Again, I'm going to say this again. Our ancestors and spirit are with this movement.
They are telling us.
The spiritual beings that are the most powerful in all these realms, no matter what you believe, no matter what denomination of connection you have to source, they are on our side because they're always going to side with love. And we're invoking them. This is an era of spiritualists that has never been before, because we've been educating each other and finding community online and finding each other in this world. There's no more illusions. There's no more space for illusions.
Yeah.
So in that awakening, you must understand that your mind is the prize. Your mind is where the war is happening. Way more than in physical life. In physical life, of course, there's a war on Black bodies, POC bodies, Indigenous bodies. There's a physical war on those bodies, for sure.
Yes.
And disabled people and LGBTQ. We can go on. Everyone that's not a straight white person.
Bodies. Right. Everybody who's not a straight able body.
Who's not a straight people body, you're fucked. All right. So in that case, though, we got to rewire how we think about ourselves, how we think about each other and our communities, and how we uplift each other, and how we're going to get ourselves mentally out of the space of victimhood, mentally out of the space of we are a victim to white supremacy versus white supremacy is a construct that we can undo.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that in that undoing, assignment number one is to undo white supremacy in you.
Take the little tyrant out of your body. Take the little tyrant in your head out.
Because there is, I describe it like in the book, I talk about it as this analogy of speaking French, right? Like if you grew up in a household that spoke French, we'll use Spanish in this case since we have so many Spanish speakers on the live.
There you go.
You don't have to do anything to absorb the Spanish language except be around a world that speaks Spanish. Be with Spanish-speaking parents. Have your Spanish-speaking aunties and uncles come and talk over you. Put in front of a television that with Spanish speaking characters, and before you know it, by the time you are 10 months, 11 months, 12 months old, you are starting to speak the language. You've already been adopting it. We speak white supremacy. We've been watching it since they put it in front of our televisions. They put it in front of our radios. They put it in our parents' minds and our parents' mouths. So of course we all speak it. To one degree or another, we have all been taught all of the languages of oppression, whether it's white supremacy or ableism or ageism or homo or transphobia, all of that phobia. We have been taught all of the lessons of oppression. We have been in an immersion school of oppression since we were children, which means that the question is not, I'm done asking people, like answering people who are like, but I'm not racist. Shut up. Yes, the fuck you are. Everyone is. And if you start from, of course I am, then the work becomes, so my assignment is to now figure out where so that I can remove that from me, so that I can practice a new language. But to say that you never spoke that is nonsensical. It's utter nonsense. And so stop making us have to do extra work from denying that you were in the same immersion school that we were all in, and let's actually get to the lesson of extracting it and learning a new lesson, a new language, by starting from the fact of honoring that we all speak it and we all don't want to speak it anymore, and we can choicefully learn a new language. We have the opportunity to do that.
Amen. Amen. Give them a sermon. I was dancing because I love this song. I love this song. I love the song of the ending of white supremacy.
Isn't it a great?
My favorite song. Oh, for real. Like, I'm so ready, man. I'm so ready for all of y'all to understand your power. I'm so ready for all of us to transcend past this like toddler stage of like, I don't understand what's going on. It's like, baby, no.
Right.
I'm gonna grab your hands and we gotta move. We gotta move.
When you just said, I'm so ready for us to all understand our power, like an entire like wave of goosebumps went across my, like I just want these 3,805 people who are here right now to just sit with what might happen in the world if I truly understood my power. Just be with that question today. For the rest of your Sunday, what is going to change in the world when I truly understand my power? I can't wait.
That's it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that world. I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
Beautiful.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Sonia.
Thank you.
Goodness. What a beautiful conversation.
Over here.
Yeah, no, it was pretty successful, honestly. And if you can do me a favor, if you could save the live and send it to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be really amazing. And if I know that you know how to add caption to it, like the ad cap that you do for your videos.
Yeah. I will have to.
If it's possible to slap that on, do that. If it's too much, no worries.
We'll see. I'll try to see if I can't get it to, because I'll get my admin to do it.
Okay, cool. Amazing. Let me know.
Yeah.
Beautiful conversation. Thank you for bringing us over to your space. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna figure this out because this is the second week in a row that I get interrupted. So
yeah, drop a word for Mark. He needs to get his shit together.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay.
He's already on the wrong side of the place. We're gonna get him together either way.
Together. All the way. Together.
Snatched up.
All right, I love you, Mama. Sending you so much
love you, honey.
Positivity, protection, joy, love. Mwah. Thank you.
Right back at you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.